Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna go over two different versions of the John Deere 300E loader, the NSL and the MSL. If you're in the market for one of these kind of loaders, you're gonna wanna watch this. Let's dive in. So first off, let's talk about what defines these loaders. So MSL, mechanical self-leveling, okay? So this is a mechanical version that will allow this loader to stay level all the way through its action. So all I have to do is pull back on my joystick or push forward on my joystick and it will stay level in the spot that you left it in. And then we have the NSL loader, so the non-self-leveling loader. So this loader is just like the loaders that you've seen in years past, where I have to control two different functions to make sure that that load stays level all the way up. For most practical uses, this is what people go with. In this particular one, this is a newer offering from John Deere. They've had this mechanical self-leveling in some of our 400 series loaders in many years past, but recently they've upgraded in multiple different tractors the ability to add an MSL loader, and the 300E is no different. I'm gonna shoot straight with you. I don't often see a lot of MSL loaders for the 300E. Why is that? Well, a couple of reasons. First off, when I'm ordering a 3E series tractor from the factory or even a 3D, if I'm gonna factory equip it with a loader, it's gotta be the NSL. There's not an option box for it. And so, be honest with you, a lot of the times we just order them with that regular non-self-leveling loader. If I was to order the tractor without a loader, so that's what I did on this 3038E, I can outfit it and put it on as an upgrade, so I just have to order the loader separate with that MSL configuration. In this particular case, that's what I've done, and that's why it's on this machine. But I do see it's gonna gain some traction here. I can see the case uses for it. I can also see some of the benefits. There is a few disadvantages, and we're gonna talk about a couple of those. So first, let me show you these in action. So right now I'm gonna fire up the tractor. I'm gonna lift this loader all the way to full height, but all I'm gonna do is pull straight back on my joystick. As you can see, that bucket is staying level all the way to full height. And then if I want to drop it down, as you can see, it automatically came back to the ground, but it stayed level the whole time. Now I can't override that. I still have the ability to curl and dump. I can override it, and wherever I leave it, it will stay that level. Now, again, for demonstration purposes, I'll show you on our other non-self-leveling loader how this one operates, but probably seen this before. As you can see, that bucket is kind of curling back as I go up. That's just straight back and straight down. Now I'm gonna I'll feather this and see if I can keep it level on the way up. It's definitely possible, but it takes a little bit more work. And to be honest with you, I've been doing this for a while, so I can feather it pretty well. I can curl and then I can dump. I have nice, long, big ranges of motion. So let's talk about that first disadvantage, right? So here we go. I'm gonna raise it up. Now notice when I curl my bucket back, that's all the way back. We're gonna do that same thing with the other loader real quick. Come up. I wanna tilt it all the way back. Okay, so that's all the way back. So here's the big first disadvantage. Your curl back is significantly reduced. Now, if I'm picking up gravel, you'll notice that this isn't too bad. I should be able to pick up a pretty significant amount. But compared to the alternative from the NSL loader, this one certainly has a lot more curl. And why is that, right? So it's pretty simple to see because of the way that the mechanism works here, it's stopping it from curling back. Quite honestly, that's probably the only disadvantage that I know. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of the advantages of the MSL loader. So the mechanical self-leveling loader comes straight out of the factory with a bucket leveling rod. If it's in this loop, so I can set this with different implements, but if it's in the bend, I have a visual representation that my bucket is relatively level with the earth. Let's talk about the mechanical physics advantage, all right? What does that mean? That means more lift capacity, okay? So this 300E loader can lift about 850 pounds out about 500 millimeters or 20 inches past the pivot point. And so that is all the way to full height. This is rated to go to about 1,280 pounds at the same distance from the pivot all the way to full height. So that tells you, obviously, you've got a lot more lift capacity here. So another big advantage to the MSL. There is about a 15% increase over the cost of a standard 300E loader to get you the mechanical self-leveling. So yes, of course, you're gonna see a little bit of a cost increase. 15% in the grand scheme of things isn't huge, especially if I'm using this for its intended purposes. I'm doing a lot of racking inside of warehouses. I'm wanting to maintain, extreme safety at all time with multiple users. This one tends to be a little bit easier just because I'm pulling back on the joystick and it stays level, going forward and it stays level. It's a lot easier to use. So a little bit more user-friendly. So sometimes you can look past those cost increases, but this day and age, and I'll tell you right now, I understand cost. It definitely hurts these days when I'm looking at a 15% cost increase. Okay, so let's talk about a few of the applications where this makes a lot of sense. And we kind of hit on them before, but if I'm moving hay bales around, I've got a set of pallet forks up here. I'm moving hay bales around all the time. It tends to be a little bit easier with a mechanical self-leveling loader. If I'm racking implements in a warehouse or something like that, this also tends to be, the better choice. Here's the honest truth. If I'm lifting heavier stuff, the MSL starts to make a lot of sense. Now, if I'm doing like light gravel work, light grader work, just regular around the house tasks, this standard 300E loader, which we sell, again, the majority of our tractors with, is absolutely a great item. So don't let me turn you off of this loader. It's definitely a nice piece. Now, again, if I'm doing gravel work with this, I can move that bucket back quite a bit farther and I'll be able to contain more of that gravel within the bucket, which again, sometimes that's a deal breaker for folks, is that, hey, that doesn't have as much curl. So I'm not sure that that's the answer. I hope this has answered a few of the misnomers and questions out there. Disadvantages, advantages. All I'm here to do is help arm you with that information. Hopefully you like this kind of content. If you do, like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks, and we'll see you again next time on Papé Toolkit. Hi, my name is Jason Hughes. I'm a territory manager out of Eugene, Oregon. I'm also a large property owner and own a lot of the equipment that you see featured in these videos. I hope you find this content helpful. If you have any questions, please comment below.